Welcome guys, my name's Glenn, this is my channel Hammond's Hobbies, and in today's video we're going to be talking about what top loaders do you need to safely secure your sports cards and TCGs. Let's get right into it. Before we get into today's video, as always, like, subscribe, follow me over on my social medias. The links are all in the description down below. And if you want to take part in my Whatnot streams, you can head on over to Whatnot using my link in the description down below. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you will get £10 of free credit when you sign up for a new account. You can also support me personally by heading over to hammondshobbies.com. Right, so into today's video, we are going to be looking at different top-loaded solution for your TCG and sports cards. Just recently, I've had an explosion in different size cards that I've been breaking live over on Whatnot. We've been doing some Magic the Gathering, some One Piece, even some Pokemon. So all the TCG end stuff, all the way up to the most recent Etch Lensa Formula 1 cards, which contain relics and dual booklets. So a huge range of different top loaders that I need to be purchasing on a regular basis, because we're going through hundreds, if not thousands, a week and per month. So it's sometimes a bit of a juggling act to keep on top of it. But one of the questions that I seem to get asked the most in any shows that I do is, Glenn, what size top loaders do I need for that particular card? So hopefully in today's video I will answer many of your questions or doubts. So let's get into it, shall we? So the try and tested top loader of all time, the granddaddy of top loaders, is the 35-point top loader. Now, I'm not affiliated or sponsored or work with any particular brand. I've just always bought Ultra Pro. I actually pay a premium for them. If you go on places like Temu and stuff like that, you can actually pick up loads of these dirt cheap. But I've always gone with Ultra Pro. As somebody that resells a lot of cards, I don't want to be messing about with faulty top loaders or ones that split or discolor or, you know, allow UV light to go through and discolor the cards. So I've just always stuck with Ultra Pro because they're all, to me, they're like the industry standard, if you like. So, but 35-point top loaders are for all your TCG needs. Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, you name it, TCG usually around 25 to 35-point top loaded cards, and the point on each top loader is just the level of thickness that can fit inside this top loaded card protector. So this one's a 35-point. Now, one of the negatives with this is that over time, if this is in a storage box or a shoebox style thing where you fit loads of cards and you're traveling around to card shows, chucking it in the boot of your car, coming out, putting it on a table, you're sitting there for hours, it's exposed to sunlight, daylight, dust, dirt, whatever it may be, fluff. What tends to happen is in these top loaders, and if some of you have bought off certain people off eBay and online, you'll know what I'm talking about. You can normally end up with sort of a layer of grit, dirt, dust, fluff, sometimes water, sometimes Coke, you know what I mean, Coca-Cola. You get all sticky bits here. So these actually can be a bit of a pain. So what I normally do is, if I've hit like a very high-end card, I would previously obviously top load the sleeve it, top load it, and then actually put it inside a team bag, peel this little sticky bit off and seal it down. So now it's not impossible to get stuff in there, but it's less likely that that is going to get dust, dirt, grit, water inside that top loader. So, but this is a 3-stage process. You're sleeving the card, top loading the card, then putting a team bag on, and then obviously you're putting it in a do not bend envelope, then in a thick jiffy bag. So there's actually quite a lot that goes into shipping cards out in mint condition. One of the solutions that Ultra Pro have come out with recently is one of these, which is Ultra Pro's Card Preserver. These are quite cool because they are, it says they're the first of its kind. But what they've done here is they've tried to all those 3 steps that I've just mentioned to you, they've tried to combine into one. So what they're saying with this is, because the back of it is actually like a hard shell, the front of it is like a sleeve. So essentially you could skip the sleeving process, put a card straight into this, and then you actually have this sticky peel that you can remove, and you can close the lid on that and seal it down. Now, without having to use a sleeve, top loader and a team bag, this is now sealed nice and tightly, I have to say. You can almost barely get the sticky label off. This is quite nice and airtight, not waterproof, but it's dramatically going to reduce the chance of something getting inside there. So it keeps the cards nice and clean. It also has these little reinforcement bars going down the side as well, which is quite a nice touch. So this takes up less space, and it's a lot faster solution when it comes to obviously high-end cards, sleeving them, top loading them, and then putting them in a team bag. For someone like me who's repeatedly over and over again, especially live over and whatnot, opening hundreds if not thousands of cards, hitting a high-end card and having to do this, it's a lot quicker for me to do this. Now, saying that, I still actually sleeve the cards. So I sleeve the cards and then put them in this as well. So there's a sleeve and the card, and that fits fine. But the only downside to these is that these are twice as expensive as these. These you can pick up for around £4 to £6, depending on where you shop and where you are in the world. Whereas these will set you back between anywhere between £10 and £12 a pack. So these are like double the price. So for me, it's a no-brainer, because it just saves so much time for me. It's a no-brainer for me. But if you're watching this and you're on a budget, maybe the top loaders are the best solution. So that's all your TCG covered. I don't know of any TCGs that are actually thicker than the 35 point, but if there are, comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. But Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, most of them TCGs, they're your 2 main solutions that you're going to want to go for. We then move on to sports cards. Many of you will know me for doing obviously just Formula 1 cards, and as you can imagine, most of the time, 90% of the sets that come out, we're talking F1 Lights Out, Chrome, Sapphire, Logo Fractor, trying to think what other sets have come out, Paddock Pass, most of them fit in. You can push them into a 35, but I wouldn't recommend it, because if you get a small bit of grit, plastic, dirt, dust, when you push the card and you're trying to force it into a 35 point, it can scratch the card. And obviously we don't want to do that. It may stop someone from getting a grade 10 when it comes to grading that card. So I would recommend, if you're into sports cards, go straight in at 55 point top loaders. I can't emphasize that enough, because they're not too big so that the card's rattling around loads and getting dinked and dent on its journey, but it's also just the right size to slide most of the year's releases into these. So 55 point is your go-to. Now obviously you can fit one of these cards in the bigger top loaders, but what you'll notice is they will start to rattle around, and you don't want it getting dinked either side. So 55 point for most of the releases of the year will fit into these. Again, the only downside is obviously fluff, dirt, stuff can get into that. So if Ultra Pro do bring out 55, 75 point versions of these, I'll probably change over to these, but we shall see. So that's most sports cards. But just recently, and this was the point of spurring me on to do this video, because many of you have been taking part in box openings. You've just recently received your Etch Lensa 2025 through the post, and everybody's messaging me saying, Glenn, what size top loaders do I need for these cards? And I can tell you from experience, you will want 75 point minimum for the base set or parallels of Etch Lensa. They are printed onto thick stock card, meaning that you will not be able to get these into the 55 point. You can still use the same sleeves because the sleeves always have a little bit of slack in them and have a little bit of stretch in them. So I always find that these Etch Lensas fit just about into normal Ultra Pro sleeves, but you will want a minimum of 75 point. You can go for 100 point top loaders. Again, you're running the risk though of them rattling around, moving around. You'll notice here, this slides in here just right, but it's also not too loose. This shouldn't move about at all in its travels throughout the card world. You'll notice that this one up here says rookie card. That was just the design of the Ultra Pro ones that I bought at the time. There's literally no difference in any of these. You can buy them in different colors, different companies, different brands. But what you're looking for is 75 points at least, minimum. You can fit them into 100 point, and this brings me on to obviously this, the Relics. I got caught out recently, and again, this is why I wanted to do this video, and somebody actually has called me out on Instagram over this because I've shipped out a Relic without a top loader. But this is an oversight on my behalf, and obviously I apologized. But what happened is that I thought the Relics were going to be the same as they were for Etch Lensa 2023. I don't know why, I just had that in my head. Now these actually fit in 100 point top loaders. So that's 100 point, fits in there nice and snug. That is a Relic from Etch Lensa 2023. But that didn't happen. The Relics for this new set 2025 are almost twice as thick. I didn't know that until the day I started ripping boxes open, which obviously was the release date, which then I went live over on Whatnot, opened them up, and I didn't have any top loaders to put them in. So just recently, this is a booklet. This is a McLaren booklet out of 25. Nice team color match parallel with the dual Relic. But anyway, I get sidetracked. These are actually the same thickness as the single ones. I haven't actually got a single Relic here to show you, but I've got this booklet. So each one of these is the same as a Relic from the new Etch Lensa set, and you'll see here that look, that fits in perfect, nice and snug. So for your Relics, you will want 180 point top loaders. Again, I've bought these in Ultra Pro. Instead of getting 25 like all of these you get 25 in a box, but these ones you only get 10, obviously because they're a lot thicker. And these are around about the £6 to £8 mark, maybe a bit more depending on what website you buy them from. But yeah, 180 point you will want for these, and that will fit all of your Etch Lensa Relics nice and snug. What I will recommend though is that for the sleeve side of it, you'll notice that I've put 2 sleeves here. You will need thicker sleeves. So I actually use VoltX. If you use my discount code, I have got a discount code with VoltX. The code is Hammonds. You will get 10% off your entire website. But these are VoltX thick sleeves. Now the actual sleeve itself is not any thicker, it's still the same amount of plastic, but it means that it can hold thicker cards. Now when it comes to these Relics, that's still a bit tight trying to put these on. So when I actually sleeve these for customers on, look, you'll notice on the corner there, look, I have to really apply a bit of pressure to get it over the edge, and obviously I don't want to dink or dent the corners of these. So what I've been doing, for anyone who hits a Relic in my shows, I get a little knife, obviously be careful, and I make a little slit just like that, so that there's actually a little opening. Now when I go to put the Relic in, it gives me that little bit of wiggle room. You see, that went on so much easier, and that was me doing that almost single-handedly, and that fits on nice. So VoltX for thick style sleeves, and you want 180 point. Now there is a solution to top load this whole booklet in one go, and that is by getting a 360 point top loader, which I do not have in stock with me right now. So obviously I'm not even going to attempt to put that because I know it won't fit. It needs to be twice as fit because this is two relics put together. So we need a 360 point top loader. I have just ordered a bunch of them. I'll put an image up on screen here from our friends over at Third and Down. They're like the UK's card suppliers, if you like. They've become sort of the top brand in the UK for supplying top loaders and breaking products that you need. So I've actually just purchased a large amount of 360 point top loaders. I'm just waiting for them to arrive, but I wanted to get this video out there because I know many of you are opening your products up over this next couple of days. As a little extra, whilst I've been editing this video that you're watching, they finally arrived. I got the 360 point top loaders. They came about 2 days after I filmed what you were just watching. And here's one of the booklets. So this is the Moment of Truth. I've sleeved both sides of it. Let's see, does it fit in the 360? Ta-da! Perfect. So there you go, 360 point top loader you will want for a booklet, and it fits in there absolutely perfect. So that's it really. The only other thing that I can add to this is obviously there is almost an all-in-one solution, and that is semi-rigids. So semi-rigids, as you guys may know in the past, I use these when submitting cards to PSA, and I put the little pull tag label sleeves on there. These can fit anywhere between 25 point all the way up to 180. But I would say that the 180 is your absolute max. Like, you're really pushing what you want to be putting in here. Anything above 200, what I find is when you put in the relic inside here, the pressure of this, because it starts to get too tight, I can see it almost applying pressure to the corners. So what I've been doing with these relics is because I haven't had any solution for them up until now, I've been pushing them in only halfway in and then putting the whole thing in a team bag like that. So that's for the extreme, 180 point relic. For everything else, for sports cards, for TCG, even for these 75 points, these will do. Anything between 25 and 180 point will do you semi-rigid wise. The only thing is that obviously they're, as the title would explain, they're only half as strong in terms of their backing. So for transport, I wouldn't really want to use these to ship out single cards. When I send them to PSA, typically I put them in a batch like this, and as a batch these are really firm, and I put a team bag over them so it's really nice and tight. But just as one, if I ship that out in an envelope, just one card, that would be a bit, I think, on the flimsy side. So if you're breaking like me, if you're reselling cards on eBay, all that sort of stuff, these are going to be your go-to solutions. Now, depending on, I don't know, the level of service or the level of professionalism that you want to portray to your customers, and also then you're weighing up, if you're doing this as a business, then obviously you're going to be looking at different price points. So I'll leave that down to you. Only you know how much you want to spend on protecting cards. But that is what I would recommend for different style cards. I hope that has helped. If it has, smash the like button up, click subscribe, follow me over on my social media channels in the description down below, and you can always check out my website, hammondshobbies.com, and you can also join my Whatnot shows. The links to all of these are in the description down below. If there's any other solutions out there that I haven't named, please get in touch, comment down below. I'd love to read all of your comments and see what solutions you guys have come up with, because there's such a wide variety of different products out there. They're all different shapes and sizes, they're all different colors, they're all different price points. So if there's anything that you think is a better solution, comment down below and I'll check it out, and maybe I'll revise this video later down the line. That's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope that's helped some of you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace.